Great.
Hello and welcome. My name is Randy Rolfe, and I'm an independent consultant with Nikken. And this is a introduction to Nikken. You've probably had somewhat of an introduction already by the person who recommended this video, but this is an overview, and we're going to try to cover the grand package of Nikken in this 1.5 hour and share some products and business stories with you. So I'm going to share the screen now, and we call it A Better Way to a Life in Balance. And it's an independent Nikken consultant presentation. It's not a corporate presentation, but it's put together by field leaders, and happy to have you on board. So let's see, I'll get into my slideshow here. So what Nikken is all about is helping you develop a good self-care program for total wellness and balance in all of your life. And what we've found through history, and when I was a family counselor, it was very obvious that health and income, good relationships, happiness, and ultimately financial success as well is all about the compounding effects of small choices we make every day. And if you're watching the video, you can see this graph where the daily and weekly choices add up to either a happy, healthy person at their most reaching their potential, or someone who's under a lot of stress and not reaching their potential. And it's really those daily habits. It's not about one big decision, I'm going to lose 30 pounds, or I'm going to join a club, or I'm going to work harder. It's about daily habits. And small choices consistently over time make a radical difference, whether it's choices about your health, about your finances, about your relationships, and your work ethic. All of those things compound over time. The Nikken choice is all about active wellness and collaborative entrepreneurship. And active wellness is about your physical and mental health, and also your total health. And collaborative entrepreneurship is about working on your own, where you control your work hours and your income. So Nikken has a new definition of success, really. It's the pursuit of balance in the 5 pillars of health. And it's the progressive realization of a worthy ideal, which for Nikken is active wellness. And Nikken started out over 40 years ago in Japan with this philosophy that true balance and happiness were based on the 5 pillars of health. Healthy mind, which for me includes spiritual, emotional, mental. Healthy family, which is good relationships and having time with your family. Healthy society, which is where you feel you're doing meaningful work and have some time and money to contribute to your community. Healthy finances, which is having the income and the security that your family needs. And then, of course, healthy body. And if any of these is weak, the others start to get weaker and fail. So we often ask, is there one or two of those areas that are affecting the others because they're weak? And for most people in the US today and in North America and probably around the world, it's health, physical and mental health, and finances are the biggest stresses. And if we take care of those, often we have more time and energy and positive feeling for the family and for society. So what is creating the stress in our lives? It's mainly money and health. And modern life, particularly since the big recession, has been a huge financial stress for people. And we're worried about the costs of health care, lack of time, and job security is a huge thing. And bills keep going up without the income going up, and just not having enough time to relax and build family relationships and so on. So finances really is the #1 source of stress, and Nikken is based on healthcare. But what Mr. Masuda, the founder, found was that the biggest stress that's putting pressure on our healthy bodies and our healthy minds is financial. So he was brilliant in the way that he combined the distribution system for our amazing wellness products with the idea of a home-based independent business. But you're not working by yourself, you're working with a team. So there are basically 4 ways of getting that income. And 95% of our population do it in the 2 ways on the left, either as an employee or self-employed, employee by yourself. And employee has limited time. They have to show up. They're paid by the hour. So you're selling your time for money, and the employer only gives you just enough money to keep you on the job, but not enough to give you the freedom to break away. Self-employment, the income depends totally on your presence. If something happens to you, no money comes in. So even professionals that charge $500 an hour, if they are not working, that money does not come in. And it often takes more time than an employee because you're always on. The buck stops with you. You own your job, but there's no leverage, and your time still equals your money. Now, again, 95% of us rely on those 2 sources for income, but you never get wealthy in those 2 areas. Even a lawyer, I used to be a lawyer, when they're charging $500 a month, they only start making money if they join a firm and hire other people, so that they leverage their time through other people's efforts. So that's when they move over to being a business owner. And of course, McDonald's and Walmart are probably the most famous business owners. And they make their money by leveraging other people's time. They hire lots and lots of people. But to start that kind of business usually means a huge investment. To get a McDonald's franchise is $1 million or so, and nobody's starting any new Walmarts right now. Amazon, you've got to have some brilliant new idea and lots of money to get started. And only 5% of our population actually earn their money from these 2 ways on the right side. The second way is, of course, as an investor. When you already have a bunch of money and you put it into various businesses and stocks and bonds and whatnot, then of course you can get a huge amount of growth because you're compounding your money and leveraging not only other people's efforts, but other companies. And we have a picture of Warren Buffett here, who's the most famous investor in our country, but he started with some money. So is there a way to move from the left to the right side without already having a big bundle? Well, there is. And Nikken is the finest opportunity out there. What the new trends in the economy are based on gigs, and people are supplementing their income on that left side as an employee or a self-employed by taking up extra income ideas where you're an independent worker having on-demand availability for temporary engagements, which means that your time is your own and you involve yourself as much as you want or as little as you want, depending on your time and your resources. And the gig economy is growing at an amazing pace because the millennials know that corporate employment is not going to take care of them. Pensions disappeared during the recession. It's very cost efficient because you can work from home, and there's increased mobility. You can do it from anywhere, and you can create your own work-life balance. And one of the biggest examples of this gig economy is the Uber, where people are just putting their own cars to work and acting as their own little taxis, but they can do it on their own hours and make contacts through the internet for their customers. And this is just one illustration. General Motors grew by $1 billion in the last 5 years, which is impressive, but Uber grew by a factor of 1,000, from 60 million to 68 billion in those same 5 years. And that's because Uber found a way to leverage all these people looking for a gig income on the side while they're still employed or even self-employed. I know a very successful real estate agent that also drives for Uber because he gets a little extra income. Here's another example that in those same 5 years, Walmart actually went down a couple of billion, while Amazon grew by a factor of almost 5, from 83 billion to 385 billion. And that's because online business is working so well that people are doing their shopping online. So Nikken's advantage is that there's a very low entry. It's a great gig opportunity, but the cost of entry is minimal. $99 to join the Nikken business, and then all you do is get some great products and share them. So it's easily integrated into your life, and you integrate the products and then just telling friends about your own story with the products. It's a turnkey entrepreneur system. It's like McDonald's and Walmart having a fabulous system that already works, and you just step into it. And we have leadership development. You're not working by yourself because you have a whole team that wants to support you, because the people that bring you into Nikken want nothing more than your success. So it's really a perfect gig, and we really encourage you to look at that. What we do as Nikken entrepreneurs is we help others choose to find success with the active wellness and a life in balance. So we leverage our time through helping others build their businesses and compound our efforts. And this really makes a difference for so many people. Nikken's reached millions and millions of people with their wealth products, with their health products, but also hundreds of thousands with the possibility of gaining maybe a car payment on the side, or even becoming an independent entrepreneur with a full-scale income monthly that replaces any kind of employment and goes beyond that, actually. So this is a quick scheme of what we do as consultants. We join Nikken, get our products, and share and promote the products, and invite people to join us in the business as partners. And then we rely on Nikken to do all the R&D, the inventory, the warehousing, the accounting, all the operations, the compliance with the legal regulations, and so on. And then when we refer people to Nikken, they pay us commissions, incentives, wonderful recognition, and it just gets better and better. So the whole thing works because Nikken's products are unique. And I live in a certified Nikken wellness home. In fact, I have one in California and Canada as well. And the products create an environment that supports you. Every night you get, it's like you detail your car every night. We detail our bodies every night. And Nikken's done research in all these areas: sleep, nutrition, light, water, and air. And what we create is a cash flow engine, because when people fall in love with the products, then they get monthly support. We have the nutritionals that come monthly. Then we can upgrade to our family and our friends. And if we just have a water bottle, we can get a water filtration system, still very, very friendly priced. And then we can spread it to our children, our cousins, and so on. And Nikken is always doing more research. So even if a person is just a customer, they get into the Nikken lifestyle that is always getting better. I like to say that you have no idea how good you can feel. Even if you have no complaints, and this was my case when I started Nikken, I had no complaints, but I was open to anything that would support my long-term health. And in 20 years of Nikken, sure, I've had a few accidents and I recover faster, but the main thing is the body is properly, with the good nutrition, good sleep, good hydration. It's truly amazing. So we have a purpose-driven business model, this little flowery circle here. You have the 5 wellness homes. Those are your customers that are building their wellness homes. And then the 3 circles at the bottom are your partners that you take on who are helping you create a greater awareness in your communities and the world about the Nikken total business opportunity. So this is a diagram of how we do the business with an ABC. The new person is the C, the potential customer or consultant, and the B is the person who's starting to build the business, and the A is the mentor, probably their sponsor or someone upline. And so the A introduces Nikken to the C, and the B learns how to do that. And when the C becomes a customer or a consultant, then the B can become their A. And it may sound a little complicated, but when you start doing it, it's very obvious. So this is the progression of the different levels and ranks that Nikken has as you become more and more valuable to the company. So you're like the seed of an apple. If you join us, you have no idea how many apples can grow from just that one seed. And this is looks like a complex diagram, but it really explains, if you look at it in detail, which we're not going to do today, how Nikken benefits people, planet, and creates profit as a business. So when you have your 3 people building the business, you get more and more people because they each have 5 customers. And so if you're the leader on the upper side of the circle, that shows your income, whether it's going to be a car payment or get all the way up to the platinum or diamond where you're making a couple thousand a month and more. So this is a diagram of all the ways you can profit from the business, and we're going to move on now to the Nikken products which support the business. This is not just a quick business thing. It's built on 40 years of research into cutting-edge technologies. And again, the compounding effect of getting a good night's sleep, drinking good water, having good nutrition makes all the difference. And the health stresses are just as serious as the financial stresses. We know stress contributes 70% to all the degenerative conditions that we hear about all the time. One poor night's sleep drops your immune system by up to 60%. Memory is affected and alertness is affected. We know that half the automobile accidents now are not alcohol, but sleep deprivation. Air and water pollution is in the news all the time, and we know that bottled water, often they just remove the chlorine so it doesn't taste so bad, but there can be thousands of contaminants there. And tap water has lead and arsenic and endocrine disruptors, medications from upstream. You don't want to know what's in your water, so you need to filter that. The children suffer the most. Obesity rates are still climbing. This is the first generation in 100 years where we know that the longevity expectations have gone down from the last 2 years. So that's really frightening. So we advocate being healthy by choice, not by chance. It's all about self-care, becoming active in your own wellness. And again, the 5 pillars, the core of Nikken's system, and the wellness home. And these are our 3 main categories. The rest and relaxation is what Nikken started with, restoring us to the natural magnetic field. The energy, the environment, the leading line of products is the water systems, and the nutrition. I'm a trained nutritionist as well. It's second to none. The jade greenzymes, the Kenzen Vital Balance are what pictured, but we have a full panoply of nutritionals that are second to none, literally, in so many different ways. And the skincare as well. It's the best on the market and conveniently priced. So let me now stop this slideshow and invite our guests to speak. This is Sandra and Al Thornton from Virginia, now good friends. that I know well and wonderful sharers of Nikken. So please, Sandra and Al, if you would share how you first got excited about Nikken and what the products have done for you and what the business means to you and the vision. I mean, it's really about the vision of Nikken and making us a happier, healthier world. So unmute yourselves, or I'll unmute you. There you go. And so I'm going to mute myself and tell us about your Nikken story.
As we were getting older, we realized people about us were deteriorating, literally. And we became even more interested in how to take care of ourselves. And I saw an email at work where I was teaching at Virginia Commonwealth University. And I was able to see this email that advertised a bone health seminar. I'd never heard of it. So it was like, Al, what is bone health? So we decided to go to the seminar. And because we were open-minded and just wanted to take better care of ourselves, we went to the seminar. Well, lo and behold, there was a whole area of information we didn't know about. And that's what I really want to convey to people. You've got to be open-minded. There is so much that we don't know that we think we know. And as we take life for granted, we are actually hurting ourselves because there's information that can help us. Well, the short story for a long, happy process was there was this company that was all involved in natural solutions. And who doesn't want natural? Especially as we're more aware of how the pharmaceutical industry and even physicians, not all of them, some of them are doing things that we would want other options for. And to just know that we can use our physicians and we can help ourselves. That was the big thing. So we went to this meeting, found out that there's a whole natural, some people call it homeopathic, some call it old school or whatever, but they work. And Nikken had tied together not only nutrition, but the best that we could have of air, light, hydration. It was incredible. So it didn't take but a couple of sessions with the person who did the bone health, Barbara Satterwhite. Didn't take but a couple of sessions for us to realize we really need to be open-minded. And that is how we started. And it has been an enjoyable trip because our health is very much unlike our peers. And we have more energy. As a couple, we have fun together because we're doing the business together. And we just like being healthy.
Thanks. Yes, that makes so much sense. I love the way you say it too. So, so what is your vision of Nikken? What does the business mean to you?
Well, I think what the business mean is first we're getting a benefit from it in taking care of our own health. And I've experienced things where you don't know. And then when you find out, it was because of Nikken, and you didn't even know that. You know, I'll give you an example. I didn't like doctors, number one, never have. But anyway, you go when you're hurt. And so for me to say, Sandra, take me to the emergency room, that's big because I had a pain. And I went for the pain and they took care of that real quick. And it was my bladder. And the doctor looked at his clipboard and he just looked at it. Usually they come and do what they got to do and go away. He wouldn't go away. And then he just looked at the clipboard and kept mumbling. Then he sat on the bed, the end of the bed. And then he's like talking to himself, like no infection, no this, no that. And he was shaking his head because he couldn't understand it. And I didn't know what he was doing. I didn't even think about it. And I didn't tell him I was taking Nikken products because I was taking most of them. And what was happening was I was doing very well because I was taking the Nikken products, which are kind of preventive anyway. and I was getting the benefit, and I didn't know it, and he didn't know either. So it came out real, real good. And to top it off, he still wanted to find something. And so he wanted to put me on a CAT scan. And so they said, I have, my oxygen was low. And he mentioned, well, it's not low enough to give you an oxygen tank, and it's not low enough to keep you at the hospital. And so he said, well, it's nothing we can do because it's low. It is low, though. It is low. But we have several of the Nikken air units, systems throughout the house. So I was getting good air all the time. And I think that contributed to it not being worse, because the air is so toxic anyway. And I was helping myself and didn't even know it, that my oxygen was being low, but it was being improved by every room almost have the Kinko
air unit.
And I was just okay. And so that was you don't think about these things until you figure it out later.
But that doctor was noticeably disturbed that he wasn't worse off. And we've been taking the nutritional products. And many people don't realize it, but unless you supplement as you get older, your body is making less of what it used to make. So your system is different. So if you're not supplementing in some way, eating better food or whatever, then you're naturally going to decrease, because our atmosphere is kind of working against us. Things are just so toxic. So what we've really enjoyed personally is better health, more energy. We are interacting now with people who are very alive, very positive, very upbeat, very open-minded, and it has increased our vision to want to let other people know there are options. There's information you need. Even with hydration, people think because they drink water, they're okay. And to help other people, family members, people in the social groups that we hang with, to help them understand that just because it comes out of a bottle doesn't mean it's necessarily good for you. So I've enjoyed the vision of helping my society, my family, know that you're going to deteriorate quickly if you don't take an active role in your own health.
We can give a good example of that. We called one guy, well-known, doing very well, and just talked to him. And so in talking with him, mentioning the water and things, we're telling him about the water and everything. And he said, well, I drink tap water, and there's nothing wrong with the tap water, and everything was fine. I don't take no supplements. I don't take no medications. And when he told me all that, I'm going like, wow, man, you need our help, and you need it bad. But he was arrogant about it, because he says, I'm doing fine. And really, we talked to him over an hour. And the truth is, I'm going to tell you the truth, I was sorry I called him. It was just that bad.
But because we want to help people, we hung in there with him. But in a year, he was gone.
He died in a year.
He did.
And we tried to tell him, and he just wouldn't. Nothing was wrong with nothing. He's doing fine, and it didn't work.
But we let people know that if you think we look good, if you think we look younger than our over 70 age, there has to be something that we're doing, and you can do it too. And I've loved sharing the information with people at my church. I love them dearly. But as you can see in the background, there's the air unit for this room. This morning, I used the skincare products on my skin. People are always commenting about my skin. Our products are excellent. I mean, they're above excellent. The certification that they have is just extraordinary. The water that we drink, even when I brush my teeth, I don't use tap water that has all of the pharmaceuticals and the recycling chemicals in it. Even when I'm here at the computer, Al's computer, I have the Kinko light. It's just wonderful to get up in the morning and feel well rested, because we have slept on the system that Nikken provided, which gives you the natural energies that you would want, that God meant for us to have anyway. The magnetic energy of the earth, the natural energy of the sun and of the air that we're supposed to have, but we don't necessarily have. I mean, we're engulfed in what makes us healthy. And then to top it off, we're interacting with people who are positive and always looking to share information with other people. So I keep telling people, do this for yourself. 10 cents that I earn maybe interacting with you is not going to make a big difference. Do what you need to do for yourself. But the income has been wonderful too. And I like the trips, and life got better. It's like God got better to us, but the truth is we had to listen. He is wonderful. He has given us what we need. However, if I close my ears, if I close my eyes, then I won't know his goodness, which he is manifesting through wonderful interactions and products that we are now exposed to because of Nikken. We love it. Marriage got better. I thought it was already good, but it got better.
Yeah, it got real good because when she started talking about retiring, and I'm used to being at home by myself and doing things, and she started talking about, I thought she was going to go till she was 70, but she didn't make it. She after 2 years, she just decided to come out. And when she came home, it was like, I was it. I mean, we needed something to do. And Nikken was right there because we had just begun then. And you get so busy that, you know, it's actually when you retired, you work harder than when you were working.
If you have something you want to do.
But you like it so much, it's not work. It's just that you're just doing things and you're helping people and you're doing more, but it's not like when you were working and it was just hard and you didn't like it and it was, you know, everything else, another task was just more trouble to you. And we have the same thing here, but it's like, okay, because we're helping people. And there's nothing more pleasant than to see a smile on the person's face when you put something on them or a magnet on them and something and they get a little relief. I mean, it's just amazing.
Well, that's fantastic. We've run out of time, but I love the way you've said this. Thank you so much, Al and Sandra Thornton. And let me just show a couple more closing slides here. So let's begin your new success story of active wellness and living a life in balance. We urge you to become a customer, get back with the person who sent you to this webinar, and start your product. Start your wellness home somewhere with the magnetic insoles, with the sport bottle, or the total wellness home if you want to have the ultimate environmental health. And if you join us in the business, like they described so well, as a part-time entrepreneur or even a full-time entrepreneur, if you want the best retirement business we've ever seen, as Sandra and Al just described, please join us with that. And learn more about the products and meet the people. Meet the people in Nikken, hear more stories. It's an amazing group of people that are on a mission to make it healthier and happier, more productive around the world, and get us out of this degenerative health system that we're really in right now. So thanks for joining us, and I'm going to stop this recording. There are a number of, there's another one tonight, another half hour. If you want to learn more about Nikken, the more you hear, the more you absorb, and the more you can share with others. So do get involved and check it out.